Hi, folks. Colette here from the Art Institute of Pittsburgh Online. I'm a graphic design student there, and I have finally narrowed down my subject for my proposal speech for the conference, and it will be based on how does a graphic designer fit into today's technological world. And in doing the research about this particular subject, something very compelling happened. I was watching television, believe it or not, when all of a sudden they did the National Geographic station was doing a talk about two guys who had started out in a comedy club and were comedians. And what they did was they would post their evening comedy on YouTube. They would have somebody record it and they would post it on YouTube. Well, they noticed when they were watching the YouTube, they were getting booed at the comedy clubs, but people were hitting down on their YouTube and kind of giving some advice like, hey, why don't you try this or why don't you try that to fix the problems that they were having within the clubs. And something very unique happened. Both the comedians realized that they would have more impact on the YouTube station than they would in real live person. So they decided to scratch the live comedy and start doing a program called the Epic Rap Battles of History. And what that is two iconic people, such as a president of the United States and Einstein. So let's say George Washington and Einstein. And they rap these songs, and they have all different kinds of backgrounds and such like this that are related to the different eras and all kinds of stuff. It's very low budget. What's nice about it is the people there have been able to break it down in very simple design, and they've got little people running behind them and all different kinds of stuff. And these are like 5, 6, maybe 10, 15-minute videos of these two iconic people rapping their views on the world from old to new and from one era to another. So I got to thinking about it and I realized, uh-oh, we as graphic designers are going to have a compelling job as designers out here in the information world. And what I mean by that is you've got LinkedIn, you've got Facebook, you have several of these kinds of things, Snapchat. All these things are playing a huge role in how advertising and design is being seen in a whole new avenue. These videos were so cool and so eye-opening that I really think that it's a very good subject in showing how the transition from a artboard to movement of live to a socialistic viewpoint of a designer being able to do their art, do their graphics, being able to communicate with their clients, and all of this stuff all combined in the same way. YouTube is not just being used for comedy and these kinds of things. LinkedIn, you can now do a video of yourself talking about the subject. If you're a sales rep, it talks about how to sales rep and it shows all kinds of resources. I think as a designer, sometimes, as especially as a freelancer, we're going to find ourselves in a position with our client to have to be doing something over the internet. And we have to be very readily prepared to be able to do that. Like, take for instance what's behind me. We've got right behind me over here, we've got an old Disneyland Alice in Wonderland. And then right behind me, we have a dollhouse. And up behind that is a oil painting of fruit in a basket with some plants. Now they're stationary, but we can make something compelling from those three things. In talking in this video, okay, we're talking about somebody's house. Let's say that they want to design a new house and they're trying to come up with a way to design it. Boom. Okay, let's talk about that for instance. Okay, well, we've got all the doll tools, we've got all the doll toys and all this type of stuff that we can start doing a layout of different wallpapers, different flooring, and this kind of thing. Okay, cool. Well, what's that got to do with this over here? Okay, well, now we have another visual that we can work with. Look at the texting and the writing and stuff like this. Can we go old school? Do we want to go old school? Something more classic. Then we got to the oil painting back here, something that's really compelling in real life. That too can work into, wow, that's something I might want to hang on my wall. Well, how can I express it? That's something that, people of a certain stature might want to see, some up and coming stars in their paintings in your home or whatever, or even in an office building if you're a designer. Um, but the bottom line of it is all this technology is starting to collide, and we have to be universally able to adjust as quickly as possible as we can. I don't like any more than anybody else to be sitting here in front of a camera and be talking to everybody. However, I learned something already in my second video, and that is we can make such a dramatic change in education from communication and design, which is in the same way that we do as designers. If we have, let's say, a car smacks into a pole, well, in a design, it would be a car, right? And there would be a boink sound or a boink title on it showing, ouch, because it hit a pole and then the pole might be bent. That would be the illustration, correct? Well, that's the same way visually that we can speak and show our graphic designs all at the same time in a real life setting in social media. I cannot wait to research this further. I look forward to sharing what I've learned, and I hope that this is just as exciting for you as it is for me. Thanks, and have a good time. Bye.